Whoa, before this video even begins, I notice most of my viewers aren't even subscribed, so what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos, and also smash the like button for good measure. Anyway, enjoy the video! Oh yeah, I've heard of this. Jesus. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. I am Jamie Jew. Welcome back to a brand new video. And in this particular video, oh yeah, it's been a while since I've done a video. First and foremost, yes, I know, I'm still doing videos. It's fine. Apart from obviously that whole, Russian Eastern Song Contest thing. But yes, I'm back doing another video whereby I am once again going to be reacting to a particular Eurovision related video, but a little bit different this time. But you see, I was going to originally sort of come up with like some sort of news segment whereby I can go through, or can get somebody else more to the point, a mate of mine, to go through some juicy news and gossip and all the rest of it and showcase it with you guys. But as it turns out, I don't have to. That and the fact that I'm slightly lazy as well, because I managed to find another YouTuber who has recently just hit his 10,000 subscriber count. So congratulations to ESC Tom. Link is in the description for his channel if you want to go and check him out. But yes, he does like little news updates every now and then in the juicy Twitter sphere world that is Eurovision community, which as it turns out isn't as clean cut as I once thought. But hey, he enjoys doing it, and I for one did politely ask him in his last one if I could react to it, and he politely said yes. Yay! So yeah, I'm going to be slightly lazy, but at the same time learning about new tricks and traits, along with, of course, you lovely people at home, while I react to ESC Tom's latest Eurovision juicy news. And like I said, if you want to go and check him out, of course, I'll leave a link in the description, or just stick it in the annotations. Otherwise, let's now dive into ESC Tom's latest Eurovision news. Got a couple of beers for this one as well, so let's go!
Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Istanbul, and I'm back for another Eurovision news update. I have swam through the sea of slime that is social media to bring you all the latest and most...
If 2023 is anything to go by, then yes, it certainly is a sea of slime all of a sudden. Like, not gonna lie, I've already said this once before, but yeah, the community has just been, I don't even know what, over the past few years. 2021 was fairly, like, hit and miss. It had some bad moments, but not a lot. 22 was a little bit getting there, especially with the whole Ukraine kind of vibe, and some people were a little bit peeved off with that, which I can understand, but at the end of the day, you can't be too peeved off, all things considered. But this year, oh, it's a whole new level.
So, let's Kiki.
There's Kiki, indeed. Yeah, that's his stupid logo, but there you go. No, it's a nice logo. It's a nice logo. Sorry.
City are having a match in Istanbul. Some of their fans are the drunkest people I've ever met in my life. Keep in mind, I grew up in Ireland. They have literally been drunk non-stop since Thursday, and I'm on a busy street, so...
See, he can get away with saying that because he's stereotyping his own country. Now, by the way, I also did a little thing in regards to Manchester City on a brand new channel I've launched, which I know is not got many people subscribing, but if you happen to be a bit of a football fan, do go check out Jamie Jew Football. Links in the description. I'll put the annotations in. Right, let's carry on, shall we?
But don't worry, I've got lots of delicious news for you today, and our first story is
upside down cards.
Israel national finals.
Oh, so, Israel, okay.
Obviously, last year, no Corral was internally selected.
Yeah,
so
she was.
They're going back to this old national final that they had between 2015 and 2020. So if you've never seen it before, the format is there's 5 judges who are allowed to give a vote, and then there's 50 members of the audience, I think, and everyone has a keypad and they can vote yes or no when the person does the audition. And each audience member, I think, gives 1%, and each jury member gives 10%. The person auditioning needs above 70% to qualify to the next round. It's a slightly interesting format. It's a little bit different from X Factor in the voice. It's just got a slight tweak on it. I think it's also interesting as well.
But basically, by the sounds of things, it's X Factor mixing with a show that I think Michael Rice did prior to him becoming a Eurovision contestant in 2019. Not that I'm suggesting that particular show was the selection process for the UK to select it, because he was part of the national final, but he did enter the national final after winning said competition. But that being said, well, go with it. I can't remember what the competition was. Let me know what it was in the comments.
Artists are able to manage with pressure, because you've literally got people judging you like right in front of your eyes. It's quite intense. So I think it's good for kind of weeding out anyone who might get nervous on stage or anything like that.
Yeah.
In any case, I decided to go.
I think it's a very good idea.
And look at each year of the Israeli national final because it does tend to change a little bit each year. So in 2015, when Nadav won, he got his song afterwards. 2016, Hovi Star, his song was actually part of the show. So
I remember seeing this a little bit.
Two of them sang Made of Stars, him and another girl sang like a different version of it, and then.
Yeah, but just to quickly say, I've seen about up to halfway point of this, but then about halfway through, I don't remember anything that you said. So, but yeah, look at the bottom left here, as far as the national final is concerned. So, 2 people sang the same song, Made of Stars. The public put them 1% difference of each other in the vote. That is absolutely crazy. We very nearly had Nofa Salman before Made of Stars instead of Hovi Star. That's how close the Irish national final selection was in 2016. That just boggles your mind.
2018, when Netta won, same thing. The artist was chosen and then she got her song afterwards. 2019, probably the same.
Well, that I'm not surprised by as far as Netta is concerned, because I did think they chose a song that was suited to her style in more ways than one and somehow was extremely popular. Not that I've ever been a fan of it, but hey, some people like it.
Also got his song afterwards.
I'm the same with him.
Was a little bit different. So Eden Aline won as the artist, but then her song was done as a national final. So she won the final on February 4th. And then the song was chosen on March 3rd.
Oh, yeah. I remember something like that. When I saw her perform, it was a national final performance, but I thought it was like, at the time, because I didn't really pay attention to it, I thought it was just, national finals with the song and an artist. I didn't realise she was already chosen. I actually realised afterwards she was already chosen, but they just gave her an X amount of songs to choose from. Not for the first time people have done that.
2021, when Eden Aline was internally selected again, we had another different format. We had 9 songs, I think it was an online poll, and then 3 final songs were formed, and that was the national.
Hang on a minute. Set Me Free. It won by a freaking landslide. It landslided as much as Sweden in the jury vote this year. That's crazy.
And then in 2022, we had an X Factor style show, so it wasn't like the one with the percentages. It was just pure like.
Oh yeah, I remember it being pure X Factor.
These songs were shown in the final. So we have a trend here where it changes every single year. I don't know why they have so many variations in what they do, but sometimes it's the artist chosen, and then sometimes it's the artist with the song. So Michael Ben David, Hovi Star. Based on what's happened with previous shows, it looks like we're going to just choose the artist, and then afterwards either there may be a small national final like there was with Eden Aline in 2020, or we might just get given a song that's being written for the person who wins.
So, yeah, that seems a little bit odd, like the fact that they keep changing the formula a little bit every year. But all I'm going to say is that if you think something's going to work better next time around, then make the tweaks maybe after a couple of years, rather than just keep doing it every year. Because at least then people will get used to it, and then will be like, ooh, surprise change. Don't make it just sort of an every single year thing, but hey, what do I know about running television?
Generally, I think Israel's been doing really, really well lately. Obviously, Michael Ben David didn't qualify, but he was second in the running order. And he was in a very difficult semi-final. Otherwise, I think Israel's results recently have been really, really great. Like qualifying so consistently. So yeah, they don't need to do a massive change to their system. But it's nice to see that they are changing small things around to try and fine-tune it. Speaking of national finals, we've got some news from
and you got the cards the right way out now.
It's that Norway's national final is getting a small revamp. So, as you know, all Eurovision songs must be publicly released after the 1st of September. The cutoff point will be the 1st of September 2023
yes,
for the 2024
we all know about
competition. But what Norway are doing this year, any song that comes into the public domain after September 1st, they say can be eligible to be an MGP. Now let me explain that. Normally with MGP and every national final, the first time that you hear the song is when it's officially released before the show, or when you watch it live. For example, like Melody Festival, and the first time you hear the full song is in the live semi-final. But this year they're suggesting that anybody who releases a song after September 1st is eligible to enter. So I think what they're looking at is that if someone releases a really amazing song, and
I remember him saying this now.
The public can get behind and say, you should submit your song to Melody Grand Prix. And then at that point, they'll see, okay, what are our options? The benefit of that is that they can see what is the public reaction to the song. Do people actually like this? Does it have good feedback? Does it work? And I suppose it'd be interesting to see what is the percentage of songs that are chosen that way and what percentage are going to be ones that are kept a secret until they are released at the latest date or on the show.
But really, shouldn't every single country sort of adopt this manner of thinking in any case, since at the end of the day, anybody can represent anybody, and the cut-off point in general for new songs is the 1st of September. So any new song from the 1st of September 2023 will be eligible for 2024, and surely, if that's the case, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, when the rule was introduced, I think it was in 2022, I could be completely wrong, but didn't the BBC capitalise on this with tap music by internally selecting Sam Ryder? Because I'm sure his song came out before he was chosen to be the Eurovision entry along with Spaceman. I'm pretty sure Spaceman came up before that with a very nice looking lyric video whereby it was all in teletext, if you care to remember that. But listen, I grew up with teletext, so it was quite nostalgic for me. But I'm pretty sure they did it that way with Sam Ryder, did they not? But of course, this time last year it wasn't quite the case. But I think not just Norway, but a lot of other countries, when they do Eurovision, should do that sort of ruling, because at the end of the day, as he said, it'll give broadcasters a good opportunity to gauge what is popular with the public.
It's an interesting thing to try. I saw some people commenting that they worry it might lead to more pressure on artists to change things or to put their songs into competitions that they don't want to do. I don't know. I honestly don't know how it's going to go. I think it's a very interesting concept. And, really, I suppose it kind of makes a little bit more sense because it's almost like you get to see all the products in front of you and say, okay, well, these are the 10 best products of people who actually want to go forward. So
the only thing I'm going to say is that obviously 50% is down to televote, but also 50% is down to jury. So maybe some songs which are popular with the public may not necessarily be popular with the jury, so there's a bit of a balancing act. Maybe it might not be so good, so they'll think about that.
So yeah, I'm really interested to see how that's going to turn out. And while we're on the topic of MGP, Alessandra has just dropped her new song, which is called Pretty Devil, and oh my god, it's a freaking bop. You need to go listen to it immediately. It is really, really, really
okay,
good.
I would definitely listen to that. I would definitely listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet.
Vibes from it as well. Yeah, really loving this song. This song would qualify, and this song would also get top 10. So Alessandra, and it actually could maybe get top 5 if it had really fun staging with everyone going around pretending to be a pretty devil.
Okay, that's high praise indeed. I'm just wondering if that will be either a video idea, potentially, like, do you want me to see me reacting to it for the first time with Alessandra's new song, Pretty Devil? Let me know in the comments.
So annoying, those people. Oh my god, this is literally constant. It's constant. And if I'm at home, I can hear them chanting. And it's 4 songs on repeat. They literally only sing. Oh my god,
us football fans are very basic people.
Freed from Desire, No Limits, and Johnny Good.
We know Free From Desire very well. I won't play it. But another song we regularly play, not just in football, but in any sport, is Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
This news just in.
Okay.
Are doing a tour in
the Joker
UK,
out.
And their tickets for all of the UK dates sold out in 1 hour, which is crazy.
Wow.
Really, really great for them. Actually, they've moved to some bigger venues to try and accommodate how popular this was. Any artists who are thinking, Eurovision, it's going to kill my career. Joker Out came 21st, and they've just sold out a bunch of venues in the UK.
To be fair, they're very relatable, guys. Very popular, very for the girls.
I'm sure there were a couple. I don't think there was enough to sell out multiple venues within the UK. So this type of thing needs to be shown as an example to artists. If you're a good artist, even if you don't get an amazing result in Eurovision, you can still do well. Same with Snap, actually, last year.
Yeah, yes. Very much like Snappy Snap.
You want to come 20th? Or 21st. Next year it's going to be 22nd. Whoever comes 22nd is going to go super viral. I'm really, really happy for them. They're a quality band. I think at the end of the day, people have it in this thing that they're not going to get a fair deal if they go to Eurovision. Sometimes it does happen, but even if you don't do extremely well, you still get the exposure. And if you've got a really good quality product and you're a quality performer, people are going to see that and you're going to pick up more fans.
I mean, for God's sake, our girl got a big exposure with her song and she hit the top 10 for a good few weeks. I mean, may that what you will. Okay, she didn't do well. She came second to last, but she got some good vibes. I know Lord of the Lost were, I think, top of the charts in Germany, even though they came stone dead last. I don't know if they're going to have the same exposure elsewhere or if they already have. What I can tell you is that 4 of the Eurovision songs that featured this year, by the way, obviously one of them was, of course, the UK, but the other 3 were Scandinavian ones. See if you can guess which ones before I say it in 3, 2, 1. They were, of course, Norway, Finland, and Sweden. They all hit the top 10 on the same, well, actually, the weekend after the Eurovision Song Contest. And the fact that 4 Eurovision songs, that has never happened before as far as British charts history is concerned. So this year has been massive exposure for not just those who did well, but also those that especially didn't do well. So big props to everybody.
And while we're on the topic of Joker Out and Bojan, I saw this TikTok of Bojan performing with Gary.
Oh, I've heard about this.
One of his concerts, I presume somewhere in Finland, and he was part of the Human Centipede, and he gave a big old booty tooch to launch Carrie into the air. He almost threw him on the ground. I'm probably playing the video now as you speak without any sound on because I don't want to get copyrighted.
He got well into that, didn't he?
I got bills to pay, baby. But yeah, I thought the video was pretty funny. Lovely to see that Gary and Bojan's bromance is continuing. Such a charming story from this year's Eurovision, how much they kind of just like really fell in love with each other. This rapper from Finland and this indie rock artist from Slovenia.
See, that's why I love the Eurovision Song Contest more so. The fans maybe are starting to turn a little bit toxic, but probably because it's getting a little bit more popular, to be fair. But that being said, the Eurovision Song Contest has always been about artists coming together from wherever they are in Europe and Australia, and well, actually more over the world, never mind the countries in question. But they're coming together and respecting each other's songs and actually enjoying them to some degree. I know, like everybody was dancing to Spain from last year. There was flags waving for our entry, obviously, last year. And of course, everybody was dancing to Finland this year. And I know Armenia's answer to Ariana Grande was dancing to Noah Carell from Israel. And I speak of this from experience because at the end of the day, they all respect each other's songs, respect each other's artisticness ways, and respect each other in the fact they want to be in the same spot. We all have the same dream as each other as far as musicians are concerned. Not that I'm ever going to achieve my dreams as a musician because, well, that's by the by. But what I'm saying is that whenever they get in the same room and support each other in the way they do, that is just how great music is to... well, as far as the slogan of this year is concerned, united by music. It's just amazing. I'm not going to go on anymore. I'm just going to react even more. I'm just slight little, thing over now.
Heart of the press.
Heart of the press.
It's that the BBC apparently has shown
I've heard this.
To be their
Jesus.
representative for next year. Now, I have to admit, when I saw this news, I was kind of dismayed because I thought that we'd gotten over this thing of the UK sending people who were popular in the noughties. We have the same conversation every year. Are Steps going to represent Europe in UK? Are the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race UK? We have the same people being mentioned every single year. Once again, Sophie Ellis-Bextor has been brought up. Look, I love Sophie Ellis-Bextor. I think she's a good performer. She's got some great songs, but those songs are really a long time ago. They're 20 years ago.
I won't say she is outdated, but I'm saying the songs as he's just said there, the songs she's performed are outdated. Don't get me wrong, they were good and you can probably still listen to them from time to time, but they're not for modern times. They really are not, which is a shame. And besides, we've already tried all that before, for God's sake. Early teens is a prime example. Apart from 1 year where we did all right, but the other years, forget about it.
Stop it.
Yeah, I agree.
Pick a person based off their song.
Not just the only time where we did it with artists, but also with songwriters as well. Now, the first time we tried to do it with Andrew Lloyd Webber, I've just remembered his name now. When he wrote the song for us, the first time around in 2009, it was a banger of a great musical hit, and it needed a good musical artist to do it. And thankfully, Jade, who was of course selected via a national selection, performed the song brilliantly and became a very respectable fifth. If anything, it was more of a jury song than the public song, but the public gave us some good points, so happy with fifth place. Then we tried it with the 80s with Stott Aikman and Waterman, and that just flopped like anything. Although that being said, we could have done a little bit better if we had a better singer. However, in the national final, I remember this quite well. In the national final, one of the singers was probably arguably the best singer. She flopped her lines of the song during the national final, and as a result, she only came third from it. But
very popular, or not even currently popular. Just pick a good artist with a good song.
And a good songwriter.
Don't look
a
for
modern songwriter.
In sending someone who had a #1 hit, Groove Jet, in 2002 or 3 or whenever it was. Hey Jude, can you hear Hey Jude? It's the third time I've heard it. Hey Jude this morning.
Na 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 na
and there's nothing wrong with having hits in the noughties.
Right.
You've also had hits in the last couple of years. That's fine. I'm not saying that disqualifies you. I'm saying if you have to go back that far to find your really relevant music, then no, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, since I've got blue and yellow here, let's talk a little bit about Sweden hosting.
Where'd you get those cards, by the way?
Who's going to potentially host next year? Now, obviously, we knew that Stockholm were interested. They actually started preparing their bid in March, and Loreen herself has said that she wants it to be held there. Some news has come out that they want the theme of their bid to be sustainability and climate awareness, which I absolutely love. So cool.
Same here.
I don't think we've ever had anyone who's really gone heavy on that theme. We see a lot of the songs in Junior Eurovision being about environment and climate and whatnot, but
Kazakhstan last year
to the same degree. So I actually love that concept of a bid. Super cool, really relevant.
By the way, from here on out, I don't know what the rest of the news is.
Sunbury on the stage. I know that some people are pissed off with her because she said she wanted Gary to
Oh,
I love Greta Thunberg. I think she's
oh, God's sake, she was entitled to her opinion, for God's sake. So what if she's Swedish, but whatever.
Doing so much for the planet. She's dedicating herself.
Yeah, Greta's amazing.
Awareness for a really, really important issue. And she's taken a lot of hits in the meantime. But yeah, hopefully she would get involved. Obviously, you know that Greta Thunberg is the daughter of Malena, who sang.
That's what I was going to say.
With The Voice. Was it 2010 or 2009?
La Voix.
What was the year they didn't qualify? No, because 2011 was popular.
2010 Sweden didn't qualify for reasons, but 2009 was La Voix.
So then maybe The Voice was 2009. It was 2009, yeah, because Anna Bergendahl was 2010. I remember that. That was the only year Sweden haven't qualified, and they were 11th. I have a soft spot for Stockholm now because I lived there for 3 months. In the winter 2008, I absolutely loved it. Jag pratar en lite svenska. I speak a little bit of Swedish, and actually I'm going to start learning Swedish again in preparation for going there. I'm hoping to be going to whatever city is chosen. I actually stayed in Västra Skogen, which means Western Forest, so it was Western City. I love it. Beautiful city, really amazing metro system. I would love Stockholm. I'm obviously biased though because I live there. Apparently the first choice is the Friends Arena in Solna, which has a conflict with AIK football team. Now, I've had my fill of mother football. Throw them in the bin. So over.
Nobody cares about football.
Ruin my Eurovision life. Yeah, I've no pity for AIK football team. Sorry if you're from your AIK football team, which I severely doubt. Or if you're a fan, which is less probable but possible.
All I'm going to say is that we've had it once at a football stadium before, 2011 in Dusseldorf. So who's to say we can't have it again, especially considering it's near the end of the freaking football season in May anyway. So I don't know. But look, it just depends. It just depends. I can't see why it could be in a football stadium. Obviously, providing it has a roof, that's fine. But isn't it supposed to be sort of Gothenburg's turn anyway? All things considered, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I severely doubt. Or if you're a fan, which is less probable but possible. We have some other news about some of the other cities. So Sandviken has withdrawn. I think that bid was a little bit of just trying to get maybe some attention. I don't think it was ever going to happen.
Didn't even know about it.
So Gothenburg has also put their hat in. I'm just going to call it by its English name, Gothenburg. They've had problems because the Scandinavium Stadium, the roof isn't strong enough to hold modern lighting. So this is the problem that they've had. This is why they weren't able to host in 2016 or 2013. Apparently they found a solution to it now. So this is the thing. I think if they did find a viable solution for that, it would increase their bid possibility a lot.
Yeah.
Because obviously Stockholm hosted in 2016.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hosted in 2013.
Definitely, I remember Malmo.
Gothenburg's turn. But yeah,
yes, that's what I was going to say.
Sort out. Apparently the news story says that they're going to prepare a bid, but they're not going to release it until last minute. It would be interesting if they're... I've also been to Gothenburg as well. I also thought it was...
Okay, can I just say, at the time of recording, the last minute is today. So, hurry up.
No matter what happens, it does seem like they're processing things like very quickly. I think that they said that the submission for bids was June 12th. So really like quickly organizing things. This is what I love about Sweden hosting. You just know everything is going to be super, super quick. And we've had so many like late tickets and stuff this year. It would just be nice to have a year where everything comes out in time so we can plan appropriately. I didn't book my accommodation for Liverpool until 2 weeks before the contest because I hadn't got my accreditation yet.
What?
I was messaging them every day like, am I accredited? Am I? Eventually they got it and I was able to book a last minute hotel.
Jeez, how late were we?
It would be nice to not have it be so last minute this year. And speaking of Swedish hosting,
because we weren't that great.
ABBA. Now, obviously, we heard.
I forgot. Hello. That's a mistake and a half. That's a sin right there. Okay, what I'm going to probably do is probably just stick a 7 over that, so you at least know that there's no mistake. That's the editor of ESC Tom's video, for crying out loud. I'm sticking the 7 over that because edit and everything else like that. But for crying out loud, oh, you just sinned yourself there.
Eurovision was rigged so that ABBA could come on the 50th anniversary.
Oh, get out of here.
They quite flatly said they don't want to come on stage. So then he did an interview on the BBC where he said he wouldn't even be willing to walk on the stage, let alone perform. And then at that point, Bjorn said no, I think around 20 times. He said, no. I'll show you the picture. He said no quite a lot of times. And they have this deal apparently that if one person says no, it's a no from everybody. So it's like a pact that they have. Now, since that interview, Bjorn has gone on to
That's a fair system.
TV, I think it was Swedish morning TV, and said that it was a maybe. So maybe they're defrosting a little bit in how they feel about. As Bjorn said in that BBC interview, you can celebrate ABBA without them going on stage.
Exactly.
Like, you don't need to see them on stage. Like, you remember what they look like. They're definitely being celebrated.
Also, isn't there that like voyage thing that they could probably do? I know they have that in London. Surely they can't like borrow that or something.
Without them being on, it won't ruin anything if they're not on the stage. Obviously, it would be cool, but I don't think that they're going to perform on stage.
No, God no.
Scenario, they like are in the audience or standing at the top, but I don't think we're going to get them like trapezing in or doing flips and like bursting
Imagine that
cake or anything like that. Some people have also been wondering, could they potentially have the technology from London? So they have a show in London called Voyager where they have these hologram avatars perform their songs. Apparently it's super cool and realistic. Some people are saying may they bring the holograms to the Friends Arena. Apparently that takes eternity to set up. So I don't think that they're going to go to so much trouble for just one thing. Who knows, maybe they will. But I know that they're planning to roll out the technology in North America and Asia and also Australia as well. But from what I understand, it's so complex, I don't imagine they're going to do it just for a 5-minute interval segment.
Oh, well, surely you could do that. But, well, maybe you can't do it in Stockholm or anywhere in Sweden for that matter. But surely you could, like, just for, like, one brief segment for 7 minutes or whatever, literally just to go live to London, say live from London, because considering we hosted it last year and all the rest of it, and just do the performance there and everybody would see that in all its glory. Just an idea.
Let's go to some sad news. That is that Slovakia are not coming back to the contest. Now, this isn't exactly shocking.
No, it's sad,
will
obviously.
correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but my understanding of the Slovakian situation is that, first of all, interest in the show is super low. We know it's also very low in Czechia as well. But also, the head of the TV there used to be very anti-Eurovision, and I heard that there was a new election for who was the head of the TV.
I also heard about this.
6 candidates. I think they were all men, or maybe 5 men and one woman. Presumably, that's already happened. I'm not sure, but
I think the elections happened.
Whoever got elected into the new post still doesn't like Eurovision, and they're not coming back. I have to admit, I think this is like a big mistake. Now, this is just my personal opinion, but if I think you ask kids around Europe to name Slovakia, I don't think they would know that it exists or where it is on a map or anything. Let's be real. Very, very few people know about it. No, think like obviously I do. I've been to Slovakia. I went to Bratislava. It's very pretty. I know it from tennis. We had Dominik Krbati in the men's and Karol Kuchera on the men's tour. And then the women's tour, we had Dominika Sibilkova and Daniela Hantuchova, who I used to have a crush on when I was a little bit more confused. But yeah, I love tennis. Also,
okay, stop right there. I was about to question him, so like, how do you know all these tennis players? I mean, I follow a little bit of tennis, but I mainly sort of follow British tennis and stuff like that. I don't really. But the fact he just said that line, I'm like,
This is one of the things about Eurovision. It puts you on the map. And it puts you on the map in the minds of children as well. People grow up knowing what your country is, what your flag looks like, where you are, because, you know, when they do the graphics of giving the points, you get to see.
To be fair, he's got a point. It made me knowledgeable.
It builds up a personality and an identity for the country. So, look, if there's anyone who needs to kind of flag to people that they exist, I think Slovakia is one of them. I think Eurovision really does train geography into kids in a way that geography teachers could only dream of. Not being in Eurovision, you might as well just not exist. I'm joking.
You better be joking. You better be joking.
So happy news. Let me find the happy news. It is...
In your own time with the upside down cards.
Blanca Paloma has just gotten a recording contract with Universal Music. Is it Universal?
Okay, no. Slight joke there. I'm happy for her as an artist, and she is, of course, amazing. Don't get me wrong, she's an amazing vocalist and a great ambassador for Spain as well. I agree to all of that. Put it this way, I hope they don't promote her Eurovision entry too much. I hope she comes up with proper, good, modernistic material, because the song she had this year, I know people fawn over it. Don't get me wrong, I understand the hype for it and everything else like that, but it was way overhyped, and I'm so glad it came last. It came last in the televote. I'm so glad that people would prove, because I thought to myself, I'm in the minority here, and I'm so glad that, you know, us minority people who thought Spain weren't going to do well were proven right, because it was just not a Eurovision song. It was, to me, a 3-minute scream. But I'm glad our opinions were right, is all I will say. But as far as Blanca is concerned, good for her. Fine.
So, girl called Universal, you're about to be a star. But yeah, Blanca's gotten that. I'm really happy for her. I think she's one of the most beautiful.
That's a terrible Austria
for the last year. She made such an amazing impression on me, showing off her culture, her gentle, beautiful spirit. I thought the way that she handled her result in Liverpool was
with the kisses,
epitome of grace, coming down, meeting all the press, consoling people. She was just so classy. She must have been really upset with her televote score, and she handled it so beautifully.
Kind of reminded me of James Newman with the beer in the hand and all the rest of it.
Thank you. Just such a great representative for Spain. Hey Jude again. This is a different Hey Jude.
Oh, shut up about football songs. Just because you don't like it. No offense.
The last story, I'm afraid, is a little bit of a sad one. Oh, should I finish on a sad story? It's not that sad. Kazakhstan are leaving Junior Eurovision.
Oh yeah, I did hear about this.
Has been competing in Junior Eurovision for around 5 or 6 years now. They actually usually do pretty well. I think they've come second twice. Yes, they've competed 5 years. They come second twice, and then also 6th and 8th. So they've come top 10 like 4 out of 5 times.
They know well.
Last year they did come second last. In fairness, I reacted to the studio version of that song. I thought it was really cool. I think I put it as my number 3, but the live performance was an absolute flop. Sorry, it just was like vocally, it sounded really. Okay,
I agree to that. I agree to that.
They just have the same staging every single year. It's like this intense Disney ballad with nature, destruction, dystopia theming.
I'm gonna slightly disagree, because there was quite a lot of Disney staging this year anyway, especially with the UK. If you think about it, Alice in Wonderland, very Disney staging with all of that. Oh yeah, Ireland, very Disney staging. Probably in the Netherlands a little bit, if you think about it. I mean, it's Disney it's kids, it's Junior. Of course, Disney's going to be mentioned a lot. But yeah, I agree that his vocals weren't the best. When I actually listened it back to the Kazakhstan performance the other day, and yeah, it wasn't great. I will admit his vocals were a little bit off par. So I agree about his vocals flopping, but I disagree about the staging, because they're all Disney based.
And it just felt a little bit samey, just having the same thing for 5 years in a row. I'm not sure if that's the reason they did that. I think it was more just the vocals just were really off. I'm not sure if that's the reason they withdrew. If they is, I think it's a bit ridiculous, because Ireland's been in Junior Eurovision for years, and we only got our first top 10 this year with Solas, Sophie Lennon being an absolute legend. And they had 4 of them in a row, including 2 top 2 finishes. So
I mean, you guys finished above us. Actually, one other so they do sing in Irish. Okay, question mark, guys. Why on earth do you sing in Irish for the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, yet in English for the main contest?
I think if you suddenly go second last 1 year and then you pull out because of that, maybe. Could be a financial thing. I don't know. They're still saying that they're hoping to broadcast it, and then hopefully they'll come back next year. But it could also be that their plan was to be in Junior Eurovision with a view to entering adult Eurovision. I'm not sure what discussions are like behind the scene with that. Obviously,
I hope they do
Kazakhstan
enter the adult contest.
A completely open democracy. I don't think they've ever had what has been deemed completely fair election, so that might be one of the issues. I'm not sure whether EBU cares about that or what the reasoning is. But yeah, they haven't brought them into adult Eurovision yet. And considering that they have a financial problem right now with Russia and Belarus being excluded and then North Macedonia, Bulgaria and Montenegro withdrawing, there is a slight financial drain. So you would think if the EBU were planning to bring in Kazakhstan, maybe now would be a good time because they need extra money. They haven't. So there are obviously some sort of barriers that they just are not feeling it, or they don't want to let them.
I don't know 100% all the details either.
I swear to God, I'm just gonna freak out.
Oh,
some good news. What good news do I have? Gosh, I can't think of any good news off the top of my head.
Yeah, so that's about it as far as the latest news and views is concerned for all things Juicy Eurovision. As I say, if you want to donate to him or subscribe to him at the very least, go check out ESC Tom. Links in the description and of course in the annotation. Well, maybe not the annotations now, but at least in the description. And of course, if you do want to check out all of my other stuff, you otherwise know the drill by now. Subscribe for more Eurovision Juicy goodness, smash the like button for good measure, and of course, we're about to get notified about my latest videos. Catch you again in the next one. If anything, it will be the live stream this Sunday, where you get to decide which particular country we'll be speaking about next with me and my buddy Damo. Take care, everybody. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.